Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Story time, I should say. I decided to make a video about this little issue that I seem to be having, because who else is gonna understand me other than you guys? If you were me, how would you handle it? How would you go about it? Because honestly, it's quite confusing for me. It is. Like, it's funny, but then not, you know what I mean? Anyway, so I'm going to get into this little story that I have for you guys while we put Elizabeth into this really cute overall set that I got from the children's place. Let's get to it. Right, Elizabeth? I have a little Ben here sleeping next to me. He still has his little circus clown outfit. Oh, and check out my jammies today. They say nothing makes sense before coffee. Let me get my coffee. Okay, so let me first show you what she's going to wear. It's from, I didn't buy this at the children's place. I bought it once upon a child, but it's brand new. You could tell it's never been worn, but it is from the children's place, 0 to 3 months, and has a little white shirt underneath. The tag is still inside the sleeve from the children's place. So I was correct. It was brand new. It has pink around the collar. And I love. They're so cute. And of course her little pink headband. These little Hello Kitty boots that she's never worn before. Or these little pink and white Skechers. So we'll see which ones will go with her. So yeah, Elizabeth, close your little ears for this story. Anyway, she had a ponytail. Look at that. So yeah, I have an issue. I've been suspecting it for quite some time, and honestly, I don't even know how to feel about this. Seriously, I don't. It all started last summer when, I don't know if you guys remember, or if you guys are new subscribers, you might not have seen my other videos, but I was traveling back and forth into the city, and I spent a lot of time last summer in the city. And I remember when I had first gone the first time, I didn't expect to stay as long as I did, so I didn't bring any Elizabeth or any baby with me. And I ended up staying a week and going crazy and thinking, oh my God, I should have at least brought one of the babies with me. So the next time, I did that. And that's when it started. My husband would walk in the room over there and be like, what is she doing here? And I would be like, huh? Like, what do you mean? Or we would be packing up the car. We're here going into the city. Why do you have that bag? What do you have in there? Whatever. There's no more room in the car. And I'm like, I'm carrying the bag on my lap. Doesn't matter. Or he will come home here and he'll be like, she's on the bed. He refuses to say her name, and I know that he knows her name is Elizabeth. He refuses to say her name. So after like a few comments here and there, I'm like, dude, what's your problem? He's like, nothing. And he would walk out of the room and casually and whatever. And I started thinking, is it that he doesn't like any of the babies or just Elizabeth, you know? And as you guys know, this chunky girl is my girl. I love her, and I would never sell her. I would never get rid of her. And getting rid is such a horrible word, but I just love her. She's really special to me. So out of all the babies, why her? So I went one night, not long ago, and left Elizabeth on the bed, and he was working late nights, and he would come home around 1, 2 o'clock in the morning from work. So I left her on the bed in really cute jammies with a little passy, hugging her little lovey. And I left her on purpose on the bed to see what he would do when he came in and he wanted to lay down or watch TV or whatever. And he comes in, seriously, he stops dead in his tracks, like on the foot of the bed. I need to watch TV. I want to watch TV. I'm like, so go ahead. And he's like, she's on my side. And I'm like, uh-huh. So put her in the little bouncy. And he's like, no, why don't you put her in the bouncy? I'm like, just pick her up and nicely and put her up on the... He would not take her off the bed and put her on the bouncy chair. No matter what I said, he would not. He's like, no, you do it. So finally, after all those little things, and what is she doing here? I have this voice that I use for her with my family. I think I have like 2 videos of Elizabeth acting really not a nice little girl. But I joke around with my family, and Elizabeth FaceTimes Jillian, and she has her own personality, her own little funny voice, and my entire family knows Elizabeth as if she was real. And so we were talking one day, he was talking about some military songs that he had to do years ago, because he has been in the military for over 21 years. Aside from his civilian job, we still are a military family. So he was talking about some songs, because he has a really nice voice for singing those, you know, like the marching songs. He's really good at it. And with his rank, he sometimes has to lead the platoon. And so I picked up Elizabeth, and my daughter was here, like everybody was in the room, and he's showing us videos of him with these songs. So I pick up the baby, and this is what I did. I'm gonna show you. Don't think I'm crazy. So picture a whole bunch of people in the room, and he's showing the videos of him leading these songs, and Elizabeth starts going, oh boy, Papa, I love to sing and dance. He stops the video and looks at me, and says, oh hell no. Poor Elizabeth. So then I start acting like she's crying, and she starts covering her little eyes with her hands, saying, you hate me or whatever. And Joel's dying laughing, all the kids are laughing, and everybody was just cracking up. So that night, I said, you know what? I'm just gonna ask him, what's the dealio, dude? She's a dolly. And so I finally did ask him. And he didn't want to, like, I don't know, he didn't want to like answer straight out. Like, he didn't really give a good enough answer. Well, yes and no, I guess. But he said, it's not that that I hate her. He goes, Myra, to all. I guess it confuses him, the fact that they look so real, but they're not. His reaction is usually to be like, creepy because they look so real. That he's in that category. So, is it just her? Or is it all the babies? Because se jodió. And in English, that would be, he's fudged. For lack of a better word. Because there's babies everywhere. If that's the case, that he just doesn't like reborns, he married the wrong chick then, because there's babies everywhere around here. I'm always working on a baby. But yeah, it's kind of a little bit sad, even though I laugh about it, and for the most part, it's funny to me, and I don't care. But I would like if he would like them, especially Elizabeth. Oh my God, this thing could not fit her better. Size 3 months from the children's place is her size. So yeah, so then he said the funniest thing. Oh my God. He said, as I kept, you know, asking over and over, because by then I was like, okay, everybody thinks she's adorable. Everybody laughs when she starts talking. He finally said that she does creep him out a little bit because she looks really real, because I treat her like as if she's real. And oh my God, I don't think these are gonna even fit Chunky Girl here. Let me see. No, they don't. Oh my God, Elizabeth, they don't fit. They'll probably fit Addie. Let's try on the sneakers then. I washed these and they did shrink a little. So he says, they just creep me out a little bit, especially Elizabeth. And I'm just waiting for one day when I come real late at night and she's on the bed. I'm just waiting for her to open up her eyes and look at me. When he said that, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So you're scared of Elizabeth? And he, of course, he said he's not scared of her. He's like, but really think about that, Myra. What would you do if she were to open her eyes? Of course. Oh my God. Even saying it now, it freaks me out a little bit. Like, what would I do? Freak the heck out? I don't know. Scream, run, yay, hooray, she's alive. I secretly wanted that all along. I don't know what I would do if she would wake up and open her. So he put that in my head, and it actually made me look at her that night like, oh my God, can you imagine? Because I don't think of things like that, you know? He's so stupid. So of course I had a few laughs, and I left it alone and I didn't push it more. And I think he's warming up to her. And I say that very lightly because the other day, she was at the foot of my bed because I was fixing her hair and I left her there, not on purpose this time. And he actually picked her up and put her in the bouncy chair. And he did it with a lot of care, which was kind of sweet. Like lifting her up and holding her head. And instantly my attention went to that. I'm like, aww. And I messed it up. I should have never done that. He's like, oh, hell no, and whatever. She was just on the bed, and he went into explaining himself. But he did it in such a nice way. And one that it was kind of sweet. So I'm thinking that he's warming up to her because he touched her on his own. And I'm gonna have to spray your little head with a little bit of water here because that little piece of hair is sticking straight out. So yeah, so that's my little dilemma, and I hope I'm wrong. And it's not that he hates the babies or, God forbid, just Elizabeth. But I left it at that. And I understand when certain people are not comfortable with the babies. I would never force them on anyone. If you don't like them, you don't like them. But because he's my husband and he lives in the same house, I don't know, I would like for him to like them, you know? Ah! Oh my gosh, she looks so friggin' cute. Elizabeth don't care about that man. See, she doesn't care about that man. No, she does. She wants him to love her. Oh my God, she looks so cute. Look, you guys. How can you not like her? She's so pretty. Look how perfect. The little sneakers fit her perfect. Let me see. Yep, they did. She's so darn cute. So I decided that I am going to ask him to see if he's willing to make a video with me while I ask him a couple of questions about the babies and reborns and Elizabeth specifically, and see what he says on camera. Can't promise you guys that he'll do it, because knowing him, he's gonna look at me sideways and think I'm completely nuts. But I'm gonna try it, and if he does agree, I think it would make for a fun video, get a few laughs, at least get a few laughs out of it. But yeah, that's my little story for today. She's so cute. So before I go, let me ask you guys this. What would you guys do if it was your husband that didn't like your favorite baby? Or, because I only noticed it, like, the thing with just her. It's crazy. I mean, yeah, you hear that men can get jealous of a real baby sometimes, but of a reborn, I mean, come on. It's not like I go walking around the house every single day acting like if she's real. I don't know. Honestly, I don't push it or ask too much because I'm afraid of the answers. And that's why I didn't ask him in the summer, because if he says something harsh, it's gonna hurt my feelings. And I know that they're not real, whatever, but it is a hobby that I love. So it's gonna bother me to some degree, you know what I mean? So I don't like to like push it too much for fear of what I may hear. But I'm gonna get to the bottom of it because it's something that I keep thinking about, and it would be really unfortunate if he really doesn't like just her. And if that were to be the case, well, too bad. You're gonna have to live with her because she's going nowhere. Coming up next is Saskia. Yes, I finished that baby. I'm not gonna make any promises, but more than likely tomorrow I'll film a video showing you guys that baby. And so, thank you very much for watching, and as always, the babies and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.
Bye everybody. Thank you for watching.
Bye guys.